Morning. Did this earlier in the week. I'm going to use it as a base for an acrylic while I'm still in the mood for the acrylics. So I'll put that to one side. I can see it'll only be an approximate. So I only do approximate. I'm just squeezing out some of my colours. Oh, I get a bit low on the alizarin, but it's such a strong colour that if I buy a great big tube of it, it'll go off in the tube long before I go down to using it. Right, got my cup of tea, got my brush, here's clean water. Cheers, ready to go. Okay, I'll start the sky now. I'm using lemon yellow, yellow ochre, titanium white, student quality, all student qualities, alizarin crimson, light red. I've got a touch of vermilion there, but I use that for the figure on the previous one. Ultramarine blue, burnt sienna, and black. You can use what colours you like. I use this one. I'm getting low on this as well, the yellow ochre. I only use it for oil and acrylic. Well, I haven't done oils for a long time, since I started this project. Right, okay, so we've got sort of stormy, wet Lake District type of sky. Why it's called the Lake District, gets a lot of rain, as you would imagine. So I've sealed the paper. This is a Fabriano, £130. It's a marvellous paper for this type of work. It's mainly because it's inexpensive and it comes in 100 sheet blocks. It's 15 inches by 11. I've mixed a bit of PVA glue or varnish with the acrylic. That's the the mixer for it. Helps it go a long way. So I'll dip my brush in it and start with a bit of blue, bit of white, bit of alizarin, and just get this sky, and just build up the surface. I'll put in the mountain. I'll use red and blue, the well, on the blue side, these are for me mountains in the background, but I want more blue, so coming up quite high. That needs to be higher. I don't want to make one mountain the same as the others. I'll get that going down there, and a harder, heavier mountain in front. Try to vary the shape. Try not to do what I did yesterday, was to mirror the top with this one that's coming down here. It's very easy to do that. And then we've got some nice lemon yellow or something behind, like some lower slopes, grassy slopes, bit of ochre. Well, we'll alter that later. This is just the roughing in stage at the moment. So that's a better colour. So I've got to make it look different, distant, so I'm going to have to counter change it against the lighter sky. Now remember, I'm very, very meticulous about trying to keep everything soft. Sky into the mountains and the hills, mountains into the sky. The only hardish edge really would be the horizon line. and I'm going to put some nice trees. And then we'll put in the really dark clear brush. Lost me all. Couldn't find my cloth. You need a lot of cloth when you're using this to clean off the excess paints and keep the brushes dry when you've washed them. Don't let the paint dry on your brushes, you'll lose them. You can't. They're more or less irredeemable. Although a solvent for acrylic, when it's dried, is methylated spirits or denatured alcohol. Leave your brushes in soak, and eventually it will soften it, and you can clean it to a certain extent, but not without a lot of smashing up of your bristles. So try to be aware of that. Now we've got a nice light sky, bit of alizarin, warm. You can let some of the undercolour, the ground colour show through if you would. But at this stage, we're building up a surface of paint on the paper. And when that happens, it will start to get a surface that you can drag over rather than a smooth, shiny surface. Let's get that over there. As soon as that's dry, right, let's. I haven't got any burnt umber. I like burnt umber, but I have actually. I'll use it. I've got a little tube of it. I'm going to have to buy some. I must have had this 20 odd years. You have to use a pair of pliers to undo the caps. When you buy your acrylic, try to get it in these sort of tubes with the great big lids that flip or unscrew, but they're very easy to get at. Or even large screw top lids, much bigger than this. Like burnt umber. Wait a bit there. Now I must keep my clock uncovered. We've assumed that 5 minutes has gone, so it's now 12 minutes. So if I can finish this in an hour, I will. If I can't, I'll have to do it in 2 parts. So let's get some burnt umber and ultramarine, bit of white. This could give you a nice warm, but if it's on the blue side, burnt umber mixes well with ultramarine to make a good cloud colour. That's better. But you want it on the blue side rather than the browny side, but when it's dark. I like a lot of action in the skies really. I don't like anything plain blue. Let's get that in there. Now we can go over a bit more of that colour but much lighter as we're coming. Which is blending to a certain extent because it's still a bit damp, the paper. Oh, the paint. Well, burnt umber. And we can get some gentler greys of the clouds before we can put on the light areas. So now that's a nice mix diluted with a bit of burnt umber and a bit of white. That's a nice warm colour. Now the grey. Yeah, that's a better grey, look. Then I'll go somewhere else now. Let that dry off so that I can start dragging over it. It's the basis of a reasonable sky. Let's get some blue in there. Right, clean the brush in the water and find another brush. That'll do. I'll put in some trees here now. So I'll use burnt sienna, bit of black, and I'll just get that. Mix some colours in there. Get some neat sienna, burnt sienna. So try and get this here horizontal. Now I'm putting quite thick paint on it. This dries very quickly, and in doing so it gives a surface to drag over. I don't know if you can actually see it. I'll straighten that up afterwards. I can put some greens. Don't make everything the same. Try to ring the changes. This is just a now I'm going to put the tree in here, so I'm not too bothered what that's going to look like behind. Right, okay. So that's more or less where that's going to go. Make sure, I just want to make sure it's horizontal. I can straighten it up from underneath, but I just want to bring the trees down far enough. And we'll show some reflections. Right, okay, let's just get that down in there. Right, okay, that's got that in. Now we'll clean the brush and just get in some of that background above the trees. So fairly, oh no, not like that. It's a bit too bright. So what's on there? Right, look at that one behind. to review that shape, and we'll go in behind that with this. I can put some light grey over that to show cloud and mist. Get that coming up there. Right, okay, now we've got to put colours and stuff in here. Just mix it, and we'll put some trees, dark trees on top of this. Well, no, not so dark. A bit darker than that though. No, I'll change that. I'll put the trees down below. Right, some bluey just lose some of that now. Right, that's putting that back a bit. And we've got this put some light on those. So you can hear that now, it's a scratching on the surface. There. Right, then we've got some planes there, we've got to just make them more interesting. I'm going back over the sky now, the last spaghetti where it gets cold. So I'll do a bit of the sky now, then I'll go back and put a bit of water in. So, I need to clean my palette a little bit. Down here. This is my light mixing area. Okay. Right. A lot of white, bit of yellow ochre, bit of alizarin in there. Get some movement. I can go back over there with light clouds. Busy sky, I don't want like cloud. I want to try to make it as interesting for myself as possible. with yellow ochre in there. Nice and light across here. Warm light though. I do like acrylic, because it's odour free and it's got this wonderful ability to dry before you put it on, which you can exploit. There are retarders you can buy, but you can just use the mix it with the PVA glue. That'll keep it open for a bit longer, but not that much longer. It is essentially a fast drying medium. If you wanted to dry slow, do oils. But I like the pastel effects that you can get with it by building up the surface and then just dragging over. So it hits the high spots and misses the low spots. Now this is where we want to get this nice grey. So, oh, no, don't want black, we want burnt umber. Right, see that's quite, oh dear. Right, I want some darker bluey umber in that right hand corner. But more dark blue, but use the umber to make the dark blue rather than the black. But whatever works really. Look, dark blue gives nice there we are, got some movement there. I'll go back with, let that dry off. I'm going to go back and do some water now, reflecting these colours in the sky. You need the water the same colours as the sky it's reflecting. I'm putting a beach in here, so that's how this going uphill, isn't it? Alright, let's just take that up a bit. Soften. I'm just still blocking in really. And in that I've got the bluer colours. Oh, it's still showing through, but it's just the initial blocking in. Now whether I know from looking at pictures and being there that you only get a reflection when the water is absolutely still. Otherwise it's rippled, it's splitting the reflection from the background and the sky. And that's where you try to get your darks just dry brushed on. But I need to bring that horizon down a little bit there. Right, well, we're not perfect, are we? So I'll just put in some greens in there. Although that won't sharp as a green at the moment. So shall we put the reflection in? Yeah, I think we will. Bring that down, a bit dark. I was experimenting there, but it didn't work. Looks like I'm going to go back and do what I thought to do in the first place was to just get the It's where I coined the Arthur Madison expression, the painting ends up the debris of struggle. I love that. Have a look at his work. I'm sure you can find it online. Arthur Madison. One of the best modern landscape painters I've ever seen. Right, let's just get that out of there. Right, now see if I can just, well that's a bit damper, just get some of that over there. Right, I'll let that nurdle away for a little bit. I'll go back into the sky. Look, half hour's gone already. How time flies when you're enjoying yourself. Right, just a little blend and soften in. Don't you just love skies? You'll be surprised, however unrealistic you think your sky is, you'll eventually see one like it. That's why I don't worry too much about doing portraits of skies. I just happily develop it as I go. I just want to lose that in there now. Put a bit of blue back. Blue, cool. Right, that's I want some blue. Not. Something like that. I'm going to do something about that. It looks like the holes of, or the tooth of the paper's filled. Yeah, that wasn't what I had intended. I'll just take that edge out. But still keeping it all nice and soft. So I'm just painting over the edge to blur it. So you can't quite focus on it. That's not really matching that, is it? So that's that's lighter, that's nicer, better. Just dragging, just. Yeah, we've got a lot going on in this little sky of mine. And then we can just go in with the dark blue, a bit of burnt umber again, and just drag over. Look, you can get the shadow side of your clouds. Just maybe a bit in there. Right, that's going to do. A lot of fiddling around in here. Let's get this light coming in here. Right, I'm just trying to dry brush over this, get that light here and there. I'll start to put in that beach in a minute. So that's where we've got to get some colour, in some greeny, warm green, black, yellow. Yeah, that's nice. Picks up the nice colours underneath there, and I can keep working at that. Now I'm going to put in the rocks, but I need a background. It's totally different to the watercolour. I haven't got a method of painting the rocks, but I'm going to just go in with some dark sort of shadow, like the model. Just need to oh, what was I going to say then? Wish I had a slave bring me another cup of tea. So I mix all the different colours in this. This view doesn't really exist in reality. I made the original one up and I'm making this one up as I go along. But we haven't got enough interest in this yet. We need much more colour or more contrast, more interest. So that's so I need this dark here to superimpose my rocks on. The light against the dark. We'll get better painting rocks as we do more of it. So I want colour. Nice warm bit of light red in there, I think. Nice greeny. Some reds in there, and some blacks. Nice colours. Right, now some yellow ochre for some. Well, actually, a good colour is burnt umber and white. I think it's a good sort of beachy sort of colour. Well, actually, the same intensity as everything else, isn't it? So that was a failure. So I'll go back to my dark. Put that back in here. Then I can get my little inlet of water. Right, now we're going to knock up a bit of grey. So the burnt umber and the ultramarine with some white, that was quite a good bit of yellow ochre to warm it up. These could be our rocks. Right, again with some shadow. See, rocks, you've got to do the 3 dimensions really. Light, not so light, and dark. Show the 3 planes. But easier said than done. So I'll let that everyone's a bit all the same, aren't they? I will just get one. Right, then they dry. And I'll go into the background now. I've only got 15 minutes. I think I'm going to have a little break now. Have another cup of tea. I put that on the computer to upload, and then come back in about 15 minutes. Right, see you in a little while with a cup of tea. You have a cup of tea soon too. Bye bye.